All right. So, I finally decided to make the video that everyone has been asking for. Quite literally, it's been my most requested video because I've had zero requested videos, and that is rating bays. So, like bays around like ports and such, on the coast. I don't know where I got this idea from, but I've got this list. We're just gonna go through all of these randomly. I tried to get a good list. I did took some preliminary looks at some bays. You can tell this desperation by the time here. All right, Vladivostok, our first bay. Oh shit, hang on. All right, sorry about that. I needed to quickly just make this tier list because I'm gonna be doing that, I guess. So first up is Vladivostok. Okay, so for this, I'm gonna be considering, the area around it. Like, I think if or however you pronounce that probably means bay. So I'm gonna consider all three of these as one. Actually, this is the same name, just put there three times. Actually, so anyway, I I don't know. It's kind of middle of the road, honestly. I like this part of the bay, but also we're focusing more on Vladivostok. I mean, I like the shape. I think this is like a solid B. I like the shape of it. I like all of the offshoots and whatever here. I like the island here, right? Good job on the island. I think this is a solid, you know, upper upper part of upper part of B. Oh God. All right. Yeah, this is not gonna be great for doing the tier list, but it's fine. All right. Ooh, okay. Port Moresby. So, this is actually the one that I was like that kind of made me look at the shape of bays in a new way. And I mean I like this. I don't know if I'd call this like I really like the shape. I like the islands. I I like this, I'm guessing, artificial bridge. Uh I like all the peninsulas and juts and such. So, oh, sorry. So I'm gonna have to give this high A. High A. I don't, as much as I like it, I don't think it breaks into the upper to the echelons of S. So I think that's gonna be a high A. Guantanamo Bay. Okay. I really like the entrance here, right? It's a very narrow entrance. There's a lot of neat islands. There's a secondary uh small gap here into the larger bay area. I like the peninsulas. I think this is probably gonna be an A just below Port Moresby. Yeah. The Tokyo Bay. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. I I I mean I like, how far inland, I guess you'd say inland. How far it reaches in. But honestly, because all of these islands are maybe artificial, and because there's not a good size island just floating out there. It's just kind of boring. So I think we're gonna have to give Tokyo Bay a a C or a D. Uh, okay. What was this one? I mean, I like how little of an opening there is. Sorry, I'm yawning because it's nearly 3 a.m. and this is what I'm spending my time on. July 4th, 3 a.m. I like the opening, but I don't know if I can really classify a bunch of this as like Bay proper. I think it's too open. I think I'm gonna have to put this. I think it's gonna have to be a D, maybe, since it's not a main bay, since it's not entirely bay like. Okay. Kuwait. So Kuwait Bay, it's just kind of boring. It's very open at the entrance. There's like two peninsulas. You know, a very small number of peninsulas, very small number of islands. It's too open. I think this is gonna have to be a D. What I'll do is I think I'll put the that river one above Tokyo Bay, even though Tokyo Bay is actually a bay. Oh yeah, so the actual criteria, as I said, like basically the geography. Places should do better when picking where they're located based on the bays in the area, honestly. Mercury Bay. Mercury Bay, New Zealand. Okay, we're between D and F for this. Yeah, because I mean, I like these, rivers shooting off of it, and I like that there's maybe asymmetry isn't the right word. It's not the right word, but you know the the gaps, but it is still very open. So yeah, Lazaro. So I quite like this. I don't know if I can really classify it as a bay, but it's very very tightly packed. But I like how compact it is. I like that there's the lanes, but I don't think I can give it any higher than B because it's not fully a bay. So we're going to put it below Vladivostok. All right. Okay, this one this is F. This is an F tier. This is an F tier bay. But yeah, that's an F. That is like the default bay, and it is very basic and incredibly boring. Again, judging these from like a bird's eye view, I'm sure all the places are lovely, except for a few of these. San Francisco. Okay. I'm counting the Bay Area, right, of all of these bays. I really like the look of this bay. So first off, you got peninsulas, you got islands, you got Alcatraz. I mean that maybe adds to it. You know, you got bridges. That's whatever. This bay is kind of boring, but the main bay is really nice. But if we're looking at it in totality, I think I'm gonna have to just put this in high end A because, as I said, because the other bays are kind of empty. La Spezia. Okay. I like the peninsula bits, you know, but a lot of the geometry here is coming from these harbors or ports, whatever. And, too many right angles. I think this is gonna have to be low C. Okay, no, I can't put it above Tokyo because they're very similar, but Tokyo has a better entrance. It has islands, even though those islands I think are mostly artificial. I'm not entirely sure. So I think it's gonna have to go below Tokyo Bay. All right, let's see if I can remember where on Vietnam this is. I went the wrong way. Cool. Okay. Yeah, sorry, but that's if it's quite F. I don't know if it's quite F tier. I like the river that it feeds into, or that feeds into it. I like, this little bit, but I mean, it's just not. There's not much to it. No, it's below Mercury Bay. Man, there are so many of these that I was like, that I just picked because I needed more, you know. And all right, where so okay, it's not actually Way High Bay. It's that bay. Or wait, is this? I think we're gonna look at this part. I like the island. I quite like the island. But the geometry of the mainland just doesn't do enough here. I think this is probably low C. I think this is low C. Oh yeah, the reason why I'm doing the tier list like this is because, well, I didn't want to get the images beforehand for uh, tier maker or whatever, because that would be kind of annoying and difficult to tell what the actual bays were. Okay. I like the entrance, but it doesn't have anything else going for it. I think this is just below the last one. Yeah, I like these islands as a bit of a barrier to the entrance, but the shape is like there's not enough peninsulas. There's not enough things that like jut out. So I think is going to be just behind the other one, the last one. Now you may be saying, "Oh, this tier list makes no sense." Remember, who cares? And it's 3:15 in the morning. Yeah, that's a D tier if I've seen one. Again, there's just not a whole lot going on. There's not enough land mass, you know? Like, this island's cool. Sounds cool. But, I mean, other than that, it doesn't really have much going for it. So, this is going to be D tier. You know, I think what I'm going to do is move this to the bottom of C, these two up. Put you there, right below La Spezia, right above Kuwait. We're going to Denmark. This sucks. I mean, again, this is probably artificial islands. Or, you know, artificially built up. I mean, it's just kind of boring even when you account for these other things. Like, it's way too open in the south. I think this is going to be an F. I think it's probably an F. Oh. I mean, I like the island. D. Again, it's just too open. Alright, hang on. We're going to have to start stacking these a bit. Especially in D tier. Alright. Bay of Biscay. No. F. That, like, I I mean, some of this stuff is cool. This is the Bay of Biscay. It encompasses too much area. This is more of a gulf. So this is going to F tier. Bay of Biscay, bad. Do better, France. I like this. I like this. I like that there's not too much of a wide opening here at the start with these islands. Water area all here. Not the biggest fan of. I'm pretty sure these are artificial islands, but I like these islands. I like the peninsulas. I like these islands. Tampa. Ooh, can Tampa get an S? Ooh, ooh. When I put Port Moresby at A, can Tampa get the S? Yeah, I think so. I think so. All right, False Bay. I believe this is South Africa, and I included it purely for the name. All right, yeah, it's an F tier. That's F because it's just the normal sheet C shape. Jeez, it's just the normal C shape. Yeah, there's nothing going for it except for this very small island. Yalong Bay. All right, so I think initial thoughts D. It's too open at at the entrance. I like the islands. I like the bridges between the islands. I think it's gonna be yeah no it is D. We're gonna put it above these guys. Oh okay, here we are. I like this. I like this. This is a lot better than Tokyo Bay. Obviously, I like the peninsular elements. I like the islands and the basically a dam, you know. And this island looks, I guess, a bit less artificial. But I like this. I think this is a solid B. I think this is a solid B. I think it's above those two. We still got 40 left to go. We're through 22 of these. Oh my god. All right, Helsinki. I like all of the islands. I like the clustering. I like that there's, uh, not too wide of an entrance. But I don't know if this is entirely a bay. I quite like this. I quite like this. I think. I mean, I guess it is a bay because what a bay is just like an area of water mostly surrounded by land, or at least something to that effect. I really like all of these islands. I like the connectivity between the islands. I mean, obviously, there's going to be that. I went from initially debating if Helsinki should be on this list to putting it in, I think, S tier. Good job, Helsinki. You won. Miami. Biscayne Bay, whatever. I like that the entrance, is kind of closed off. I really hate these artificial islands. And then once you get further in, there's these nice islands, but not a whole lot. I think honestly, I think was gonna rate Miami a lot lower, but looking at the islands that are not obviously artificial, I think it's gonna have to go in high B. So yeah, good job, Miami. You did better than I thought you would. St. Petersburg. I'm gonna count, everything included basically within these the bridge, the bridges. I like the island. I really like the island. It's a bit open, you know, but I like these sections of islands. But I like this, but I think if we're counting everything up to here, I think the openness here is a bit too much. Bring it above B tier, but I think it is high B tier still. I think it's again, there's no islands. I like, the east half, the west half not so much. I think we were on a good run of things not being in D tier. Like I think because there is variation to geometry, that's what's keeping it out of F tier. That it isn't just the letter C. I was gonna say it's not just a C, but we can't get our water terminology confused here. I think this is a really good bay. I think it's a good bay. I think it's a good bay. It's not good overzealous. I like all the peninsular elements. It's got a really good shape. Well, really good entrance, right? It's avoiding the mess of the normal seas and has a lot of cool peninsula elements. But that being said, it doesn't have a whole lot of islands. There's this little guy that is a baseball stadium or something. What is it? I don't know. That has something. Yeah, I think we have to put this in B tier. Not sure where in B tier. I think it's gonna be. All right. All right. Stay in Hong Kong and Macau. So I like all of these islands, but they're a bit too far out from the coast for me to really pay enough attention to them. I like, all the islands and such. The bigger islands, obviously. And I like the shape of all this stuff. So I think this is A. All right. We're almost halfway there. Gibraltar. This is a shit bay. Yep. This is an easy F. is an easy F. It's just the letter C, but elongated. So it looks even worse because there's even more empty space. Yeah. Battleship Missouri Memorial. Interesting. I quite like this. I quite like this. I think this is, if not an S, very high A. Because if we're looking to bleed into these islands here, into what we consider part of the bay, which based on this, I guess it would be. Anyway, it's really cool. I think I think we can put this at the top of A for now. What do I have in S? Helsinki and Tampa? That's crazy. I mean, I like this. I like this actually. I just think it goes off in too many directions with the rivers. It's kind of in a San Fran area in terms of like tier list stuff. I think I'm gonna have to put it right next to San Francisco. This looks really really nice. It's a nice bay. Again, I'm being a bit loose with the definition of bays here. You know, I guess I'm also counting cities on the water or whatever. I don't know. Wow, that's boring. Wow. The only thing it has going for it is that it isn't just a C shape. So I think that's the only thing keeping it out of F tier. But I mean, it's definitely D. With all this, I might have to bump Tokyo and La Spezia up to C. They're trying to shake things up from the normal C, the normal C shape, but it's not getting them out of D. I'm just cramming. Whoops. So many things into D tier. I thought I was gonna need more, more like boring ones, but I guess the world has us covered. Okay, that's an F. Great. Okay, now we're getting back to some interesting stuff. Again, I like the rivers that feed into this. I I like how, the there's almost islands. So I think it's gonna have to be a B, you know, because it's still kind of open. There's a decent gap at the entrance. All right. Wow, this is very boring. If there wasn't that one little bit of whatever of almost island, or maybe that was actually an island. Sorry. It's nearing 4 a.m. Anyway, this is D. Yeah, if it had more than just this one island here, I think it would be doing a lot better. I think this is just above Tokyo, but not by much. So this is the top of D tier. Okay. I mean, some people may say I need to uh, adjust my expectations with these bays because, you know, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm incoherent. It's 3:46 a.m. and yet we persist. Ooh. We can put this in C, I think. Hey, it's better than D tier. Okay, it's pretty empty, but I like the small islands that are dotting around it. I think this is gonna be bottom of C because it's better than Tokyo Bay for sure. But I don't know. Okay, maybe it goes above manga. That seems good. Okay. Yeah, so I just did this to search because there were like these two bays on either side of this peninsula in Cyprus. Yeah, no, this is shit. These bays suck. This is the best thing, and it's just a port. Yeah, this is D. This is D tier. It's not a C-shaped D tier. It's fucked is what it is. I don't know, man. Cyprus, do better. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, it's trying, I guess. It's got a salt museum. That's got to bring this up slightly. No, I think it's still F tier. Oh yeah, about the colors. I didn't remember what the tier maker colors were, so I just improvised. Uh, white for F. The Big Apple, baby. All right. I mean, this is pretty good. I'm considering the entire area around, uh, like Manhattan and such. It's got some real nice islands. It's got, small gap at the Verrazano. All the islands. New York, we're gonna have to give an S, I think. I like how I was, you can tell I was a lot more organized for some of these other ones at the start, and now it's gone, uh, off the rails, I guess. We're just looking at this. We're not looking at this because this isn't Thessaloniki. We're looking around the city itself, and wow, that is boring. That's F. That's F. Greece, do better. Like I was expecting a lot out of you, Greece. Honestly, because I mean the overall geography of Greece is great, but I guess you know got to be balanced out somehow, and that way is they have shit bays. I mean, let's see. Okay, this one around part of Athens, I guess. Whatever. The Gulf of Elefsina. I mean, that was a bit better, but we're not including that one because it's not on the wheel. The wheel decides. The wheel decides. Where is this one? Okay, I like this. I like this. I think this is a B or C. I think since I'm saying actively I like this, we're gonna put it at a B. Okay, so Brunei Bay. I like the islands here. I like the islands here. It was just so open. This is a D tier. It had good potential with the outer uh element of the bay itself. I know this one says Gulf. Shush. I mean, this is a lot more bay-like than the Bay of Biscay, and it's a whole lot better. I think this is gonna be solid B, if not top of B. What's our competition top of B? Yeah, this is top of B. All right, we're it's fine where it is. Wellington. Okay. Has good potential. Kind of fumbles it. It's low C. Rio. There we are. I like this. I like this a lot. Preliminarily, A. Final answer, A. Yeah, I mean it's got big islands, it's got small islands, it's got bridges connecting shit, it's got depth to it. In terms of it goes inland, I guess. You right? Yeah. So I like all the islands. I like the geography of these rocky uh bits over here. But it's just again the main thing is a C shape. So I think it has to stay. It's limited. It cannot go above C. Okay. 13 left. I don't know where this is. Okay. This one. I like it feeding into the river here, or the again river feeding into it. I don't know if you can really classify this as a bay. I'm gonna put it with that other one lower than it, I believe. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it here between St. Petersburg and Manga. I don't know how that would be pronounced in Spanish. All right. I don't like it. I don't like Swansea Bay, but I needed to give the British some representation, and they don't have many good bays. You know, they're all just the usual C, which puts them in F. Fiji. Oh, I like this. I like this. I think it's a B. I think it's still limited by the fact that it's kind of wonky, lopsided maybe, but like I kind of like it. It's Mozambique. Oh, I. You know what? I genuinely think that's a C. Actually, I think it's a B. It's it's simple, done right, done right. As if that people were like, how do we make this bay look cool? Okay, I like the Piccolo C. I like this island here. I like this island here. I think honestly this is gonna have to be a B. I think it's gonna be a B. If you're in C, you're doing something right, but not a whole lot of that something. If you're in B, you're all right. You're all right. Okay. What are we looking at here? Okay. Okay. This, if it wasn't colored like this for Google Maps, that that's cool. This is very cool. Lots of islands, lots of peninsulas, lots of bridges connecting those islands. So there's the facade of whatever. This is a good bay. This is a good bay. All right, 7 left. Algiers. F. It's all right. It's a D. It's not all right. It's a D. I mean, it's a D, man. Get a hold of yourself. You're losing it. All right. Yeah, it's a D. I mean, it's better than just a C, you know. So it's a D. Too many letters. Not too many letters. It's just C and C, which only one of those is a letter. But you get what I'm trying to say. Monterey Bay. All right. This one's bad, I think. What? One sec. Okay, yeah, that took all of 2 seconds to correct that because Google couldn't recognize Monterey Bay from me searching Monterey Bay. Anyway, F. Obviously, this is shit. It's just a C. All right. Dutch Bay, Saginaw Bay, and Moreton Bay. Morton. I don't know where this is. All right. I mean, this is too open. I like the islands, but there's just not enough, and the geometry of the landscape around here is just kind of boring. Low C, high D. Whatever. Dutch Bay versus Saginaw Bay. Oh, Dutch Bay's last. So this is boring. This is a D, or no, not. Sorry, this is an F. My bad. My bad, guys. Sorry. I almost invalidated the entire tier list by putting this at a D. And finally, Dutch Bay. I like this. I like this. Honestly, I think he's got the right shape, even though it's kind of open. This is an A. This is an A. So, here is my official Bay tier list. Um, again, I hope that all of you can now finally relax in the comments and not ask me for this, you know, however many times a day. Because I finally did it. I ranked the bays. See ya.